is a presentation and demo of LiveAction 4.2 features. LiveAction 4.2 has a lot of new and useful enhancements, but today we will focus on the main features targeted at data center support and application visibility to provide more scalability and faster application troubleshooting. The top new feature for LiveAction 4.2 are a new application dashboard showing a consolidated view of application performance so you can spot issues faster. An application path analysis providing hop-by-hop status of AVC flows with application versus network delays, retransmissions, and other metrics to quickly pinpoint application bottlenecks. For data center, we added Nexus 7K QoS monitoring and integration with Gigamon and Ixia. The latter allows LiveAction to visualize flows from Gigamon and Ixia boxes. With custom alerts, you can define specific conditions for when certain alerts should be generated. LiveAction 4.2 enables devices to auto-collapse into predefined groups, so for large networks, the topology is less crowded. You can also export the topology to Visio, which allows you to have a copy of the network topology for sharing and documentation. And then we have additional report enhancements such as collated 95th, 99th percentile, quarterly and yearly long-term reports, enabling you to have a better view of network resource usage similar to what NetQoS has today. So let's go over more detail of these features in the next few slides. LiveAction 4.2 brings many benefits to our customers. It delivers instant application visibility with the application dashboard. It accelerates application troubleshooting with the AVC path analysis. It provides expanded data center support with the Nexus 7K QoS monitoring and multi-vendor device integration with Gigamon and Exia. It allows for more efficient network documentation as well as adds other reporting and performance improvements. And these features help simplify network management operations, improve network availability, and engineering productivity. So LiveAction has this new application dashboard that is driven out of the AVC NetFlow type. Here you can see the application that use the most bandwidth or applications with the most network versus application delays or retransmissions, and focus on them for faster troubleshooting. This dashboard allows you to also see the most visited website. And so depending on what business you're in, this information can be very useful. For example, in education, school administrators can determine which websites are visited the most by their students and take appropriate actions. Using Perfmon, we can also show you the top voice video application and their performance. The application path analysis uses the AVC flows to show this hop-by-hop performance from a source to the destination. In this table format, you see useful information such as the application writing on this path, the CPU usage of each of the devices in the path, the application versus network delays, and all the color-coded status, letting you know where the problem may reside so you can focus on it. You can also choose to show the path on the topology by clicking this Show Path button, and the gray arrow here just means that the AVC flows are not enabled on that device. The next three slides discuss LiveAction support for data center, which includes Nexus 7K QoS monitoring, Gigamon, and Exia Integration. LiveAction 4.2 provides Nexus 7K QoS monitoring capability so you can see QoS class performance for this data center device from the LiveAction QoS interface view as seen in this graph. We have supported flow visualization for Nexus in the past, so if you have these platforms, you would have been able to see both the end-to-end flows and the device flow view prior to LiveAction 4.2. With multi-vendor data center support, LiveAction 4.2 integrates with Gigamon, where Gigamon Visibility Fabric architecture provide tap and span port traffic in non-sample NetFlow records, and then LiveAction ingests these flow, and it visualizes Gigasmart NetFlow records and provide the end-to-end visibility, the historical playback, and the application traffic volume going to the Gigamon device. So the end-to-end visibility is when a Gigamon device is in the path and we can see flow going through it from the source to the destination. Here you can also see the application traffic and the actual flows going through that device. LiveAction 4.2 integrate with Ixia by consuming the NetFlow export of the deep packet inspection records from Exia to provide this end-to-end flow, application names, and associated traffic volume, adding more application visibility to data centers that deploy Exia infrastructure. LiveAction 4.2 provides several topology enhancements. First, LiveAction will now draw the SVC corresponding subnets globally or manually. This means that you can enable it for all interfaces or specific interfaces. Second, LiveAction will now allow you to add up to 1,000 interfaces per device from a previous 100 interface limit and draw all of them on the topology map if you wanted to. Third, you can zoom the topology 2 times further than previous LiveAction versions. Fourth, LiveAction will automatically collapse the devices into group zoom at a certain zoom level for more efficient viewing and rendering performance, and this zoom level is configurable. And last but not least, you can export the entire topology or a particular view of the topology to Visio for documentation. There are several report enhancements with LiveAction 4.2 that provide similar functionality as NetQoS. For example, we have the 95th and 99th percentile interface reports, so customer can better compare bandwidth usage to service provider billing. We offer quarterly and yearly reports, so you can correlate usage in different periods for more effective capacity planning. Multiple reports can now be combined or collated into a single report for a more consolidated view. For example, if you want to compare inbound and outbound usage of various interfaces in various regions, you can combine them into a single report for more efficient correlation. LiveAction 4.2 also comes with various performance and usability enhancement for quicker rendering of topology and zooming. In addition, we improve archive and purge options for more efficient database handling. We have this pan and lock enhancements allowing easy handling of object movement within the topology. We add search features for all of the TOPS report, so you can filter to a particular search argument. And for new LiveAction users, the first startup screen provides navigation to self-help resources like shown here. And with that, thank you for your attention, and let's show some of these features in a demo.
So on this application tab, notice at the very top that there's the notion of a flow source. Right? So this flow source is the same source that we set in the flow tab. Right? So notice in the flow tab we set the source of the flow information to site Honolulu or site San Francisco. This is also going to carry over to the application tab, and there you see that at the very top left-hand corner of the screen. You have the option also to look for all sites or drill down to a per site basis. So if you want to look at only site Honolulu, you can choose site Honolulu and it'll automatically converge, and we're only looking at data from site Honolulu. Okay. Go back to all sites. Likewise also with applications, you can be able to choose only, for example, your video application group. and that will reconverge the data. We're waiting for the dashboard data to converge. And we're only going to be looking at the video application group in this sense. Okay? So we have some nice utilities at the very top to search for per site that you're interested in, or per application that you're interested in looking at a high level within the dashboard. So let's go back to that dashboard. I'm going to just reset to all applications. And let me give you an example of what this looks like when you first launch LiveAction in 4.2 for the first time without setting any custom applications. So by default, if you load 4.2, you're automatically going to see a list of application groups that are predefined within LiveAction. And those application groups are tied to application groups that ship with Cisco iOS. So if you recall, NBAR already has the notion of application groups, and then a bunch of applications under those groups. So LiveAction looked at all of those application groups and tied them into a default setting within LiveAction. These are the typical application groups that ship in iOS. So as you look, for example, at browsing, there's already a list of various applications that's under the application group browsing. These are the defaults within Cisco iOS. The protocol pack that we base all of this on is protocol pack 12. So the nice thing then is, out of the box, we already have the notion of application groups based off of Cisco. So you automatically will start seeing data for those application groups. Right? So there's some browsing data. When you expand that, we're going to show you which devices we're getting browsing data for. Also, the same thing with business and productivity tools. We're seeing data from all of these devices. Now, like any one of the other application, or the other dashboards rather, you can click on any one of the widget headings and that will bring up a report by default. So there's the application group report. Same thing here. So you can also drill down on a per application group and then launch the application group report automatically. So recall that the application dashboard is sourcing its data from Site Honolulu and Site San Francisco, but then we're also drilling down into the Cisco 2921. Then there's a new context-based search item called flow.appgroup, and we're targeting video because that's what we drill down on. Right? So we see RTP traffic and my custom applications that I defined within LiveAction that we note with a double asterisk. Okay. So one other thing to keep in mind with regards to the application group is that we do not have IANA port number based items within application group settings right now. So if you did want to set, for example, port-based applications, and you expected it to be an IANA, then you're going to have to set it up as a custom application. The good thing, though, is NBAR has the notion of those types of IANA-based applications already from NBAR, so we should be getting that as well. So let's take a look at some of the other widgets. The top 10 application group performance. Now this is being driven by the AVC data. So we see average network delay, application delay, retransmissions, and flow counts as well. So when we look at Microsoft as an example, and we can drill down and look at the top application performance report, we'll gather that data. What's making up the application within the Microsoft app group is MS Office 365. So now we can see the information specific to that application. Right-click again, view application over time. This is going to give you your time series data that you folks are already familiar with. So the simple workflows again that you can do from the top level application dashboard. So on a time series basis, this is all the various application groups that we're seeing over time within the last 24 hours. And then the bottom widgets, these should all be very familiar to you folks already. Top 10 applications, top 10 application performance being driven by AVC data, top 10 voice and video performance being driven by MediaNet performance monitoring data. And the only one that's new here is the top 10 HTTP host, which is this widget here on the lower right-hand side. So some things to keep in mind about this widget is that notice that we don't show the P4 data anymore, which was the proxy information that we got from NetFlow. We're just going to show you the HTTP hostname information. Now we're only showing you hit count at this top level, right? So for ciscotags.cisco.com, this is the entire hit count for that underlying hostname. We're not separating it for this widget on a per URI basis. So if they went to cisco-tags.cisco.com/nbar or /medianet or /avc, we're not giving you the hit counts per URI, but any one of those hit counts we're aggregating together. So /medianet, /avc, /nbar, we're adding all those hit counts together, and we're going to show it to you at this top level. And there's a flow going through the various devices all the way to the head end here on the left-hand side. Of course, in order to bring up the AVC path analysis, we'll go to the AVC tab within the system table, and then double-click on the flow. And there it is. So the first hop, notice that it's in gray. The reason for that is because it only supports flexible NetFlow or traditional NetFlow. The ISR G1 does not support AVC, but we're still correlating that flow information from this device and showing it in gray just so we can complete the hops, because we learned the same 4 or 5 tuple from this device as well. We show you, of course, all the things that you're familiar with, like CPU utilization, QoS policies in line to this, as well as application